I enjoyed this movie. It's probably one of my favorite MCU movies. It's definitely my favorite Thor movie out of the four of them. First two went very good. Fourth one was decent. But yeah, this movie has the Warriors 3 on here, which the only one that would make sense for him to be on Asgard would be Hogan, since he wasn't a part of the treason. But no, they're all on here. Volstagg, Fandor, all of them. They're only in one scene each. Volstagg and Fandor are together with Scourge just for them to die and Scourge to join Hela. Which, I don't even understand why Scourge is working with Hela. She's super powerful. She killed the entire Asgard army by herself while Scourge just stood there. I really don't understand why she recruited him. And she beats him easily later in the movie when he betrays her. So, really, what was the point of Scourge? Hela was way too powerful. I don't understand why she recruited him in the first place. She has a little lazy line later in the movie where all kings need an executioner. But that's halfway through the movie. The movie's almost done. And now they're finally giving us a reason why Hela wants Scourge. And he doesn't even execute anybody. Fenris is here for 2 scenes. Very underwhelming. There's the scene where he gets brought back to life, then they forget about him for the entire movie. Then he shows up to fight Hulk, gets punched off a waterfall, and disappears from the movie. Surtur's here, but he's only here for plot purposes and to do, you know, what the movie says, Ragnarok. And then, done. So definitely a waste of him, to be honest. Because he's a great villain. Speaking of great villains, they have Grandmaster in here, played by Jeff Goldblum. Nothing against him, just a weird casting choice. And I did think it was cool that his nails were painted like the same color of Grandmaster's, you know, color scheme. I thought that was cool. I don't know how I never noticed that the first few times I watched this movie. Because there's literally scenes where they have him, like, as this big-ass giant thing, hologram, and his nails are pretty highlighted, so I don't understand how I never noticed that. Just like Batman 1989, where Jack Nicholson's nails were painted the same color as, you know, the Joker's color scheme. It's a pretty cool thing. I liked it. He doesn't do too much in this movie. He melts his random cousin that they put in the movie, and that's it. He's the end credits, where he gets overthrown, and to try and talk himself out of getting eaten by the cannibals from earlier in the movie that Thor had to deal with, where he got saved by Valkyrie. He goes, "Yay, you overthrew me, and you couldn't have done that without me." Like, it wasn't that funny. Even Jeff Goldblum couldn't save that. I didn't like it. Then they set up Infinity War and all that, which we all know Loki dies in immediately, so him being good in this movie kind of sucks. Like, hey, we finally got to see more of a better side of Loki, starting to get along with Thor, and he's dead. Next movie. Sure, he gets a show, but whatever. Oh, and Hogan, he gets his classic weapon, but he uses it for like 2 seconds. Not to mention, Hogan gets kicked into a wall, and he's done for the entire fight. She kills his entire army, and he is still down. He, like, only gets up when she kills the last guy, tries to fight her, gets impaled. The Warriors 3 were clearly only here to die. Lady Sif They don't even give her an explanation why she's not in this movie. The only mention of her is in Loki's play, where they have some random actor playing her, which makes sense because Loki's basically mocking all these people. Half of them weren't even in the events at the time of Thor the Dark World, because they have the Warriors 3 standing in the background when Loki's dying, which they were not in that scene, especially Hogun, barely in the movie. And Lady Sif goes to get help, and she's just out of the scene. She shows up again when the play ends, but that's it. She just kind of stands there. But it's not the actual Lady Sif. There's no explanation why she's not in this movie. She never shows up again until Thor Love and Thunder, where she's almost dead, besides her brief cameo in the Loki show, where it's not even her. I mean, it is the actor, but it's just something in Loki's head. So, you know, they really did Lady Sif probably the dirtiest out of almost all the MCU characters besides Quicksilver dying by bullets. Ridiculous. Yet they didn't get to keep the rights, but man, that's still so stupid to kill him off in that way. Heimdall does have some cool stuff happen here and there, but he is really not a large role at all. Though he does help save Asgard, so he is a plot purpose. He's not just there to be there. But he is there just to be there in Infinity War, where he dies. In the first scene we see him in, just like the Warriors 3. Overall, though, it is a pretty decent movie, and it definitely redeemed the Thor series in my eyes. Because the first movie was okay, but really wasn't the best. It was a good origin and a start to the series, but then it followed up with Dark World, which was terrible. So this is a pretty good movie. But it is too late in the MCU series where they're trying to set up Infinity War. So it doesn't really matter that much in the end. But it is a good movie if you just watch this movie to watch the movie. Thor and Hulk have their little rematch. They had a fight in like Avengers. The first Avengers. They have a fight in this. Thor and Hulk are pretty even. Thor is mostly winning once he starts using his powers. And then he gets electrocuted by Grandmaster because Grandmaster doesn't want his champ to win. So they have a running joke about Thor saying he won and Hulk saying no, he won. And then later when he's in Bruce Banner form, Thor goes, I won easily, and Hulk doesn't believe him. So, you know, overall it was a decent movie. I just don't like all the characters they killed off for, like, no reason. Vanderbilt didn't even have a line. Volstagg was like, who are you and what did you do with Thor before he died? And Vanderbilt just did a battle cry and got stabbed in the gut. Hogan had a few lines, but they were mostly just, you know, there for Hela to say something funny. Like, when Hela explains who she is, why she's there and all that, and Hogan's like, I don't know who you are. Like, yeah, haha, hilarious. But yeah, I do think they misused Fenris and a few characters, though. But it is a good movie.